Ok. Nó đấy. Chắc là tao luôn tại phép học với đồ này là còn bây giờ qua hôm nào sai chúng tôi đi. Ok. Để cho phê cho cô như cho gì chắc là nó phải tạo qua đi thì cho nó cũng cũ rồi đó. Để cho nó cho phê là một số họ và tăng khải nữa, tăng khải cho phê từ là bu phê từ là Yia Xiong nhớ đồ nó thế nó cho đi á cho nó luôn hay là phong tìm hay là nó đấy này thì sự bây giờ cũng cho phép là số họ cho cả cái việc bây giờ nên bỏ vào tiền nó cho phải chơi nhẹ nhõm là nói nó cho phép số cũng mà cái mình tôi cũng biết nên là nó do gì lúc trẻ về nho có phải mình là nho nên là nó chỉ có cộng đồng của tàu tuần để lúc trẻ là nó thì cho nên cho cũng như sự của toa nên là nó và tâm thái của nó ta tỏ nó sẽ là ta tỏ ta phải ăn luôn cho cái sợi nó đấy để cho nên một chỗ nó đấy ok nó đấy để cho cái một chỗ tới từ cái nó đấy hey good to see you wow that was you for you yes
do cái hay bên đi hay thì có cái nhập đi mong lo hay cái do hay thì
nhớ rồiเขาพูดมาพูดถึงเชื่อเราไปตู่มุ่งที่สุดđóก็ตัวไก่ของเราเนี่ยอย่างนั้นเจ๊ย่อยกว่าตัวจ่อไว้สุดเลยน้องเดี๋ยวเขาอย่าไปอย่างนี้มองแค่มาตัวเท่าไหร่เจ๊ไปปล่อยแล้วไทยปล่อยทีวีเจ๊แล้วหนูว่าเจ๊เจ๊บางตอนนั้นก็ต้องไปเจ๊นอนแล้วก็ต้องไปเจ๊น้อยเจ๊น่ะเนาะว่าไปงานมาโบจมูกchỉ đi chơi tại sao cái store là thì 10 minutes này chị để tôi mua gì tôi nhớ là hồ lúc chơi nó là tôi nói chị điคุยอยู่แต่ตัวแต่เนาะก็ใส่เป็น protest นะใส่เป็น protest เนี่ยเราไปว่า police รู้เชิงรู้ office ไปแต่สนาจะไปหาเราไม่ต้องแต่เนาะรู้จริงเนาะthế mà nó tâm thái của nó to là hơi nhẹ còn nó cũng chụp phim mà tôi là cái chụp cái kinh nghiệm nên chụp phim thì lúc cho trong kia tôi nói cái này bây giờ cũng cái gì cũng là bây giờ cho đi một số tao lại phải lúc trên đặt ăn này là lúc rồi nhẹ nhõm là cái gì của nhẹ nhõm tôi là nó nên là cái tôi gặp là nó cứ luôn là về thì mình không như sau khi cô cho việc kia thì về sự mua là cái tua cái nào nó cũng mua cho nó cũng có trong tua của bên trong số mà kia thì có ta như là về có thể sẽ về police thì bên office bên nào cũng cho lại cũng là tua của PP cho cái đó của PP là này của PP như vậy thì sẽ cái này thì bé buổi sáng đồn đà
Testing. Is everybody hearing me good? Okay. Okay, who will be our MC here? Who will be hosting here?
Let the women handle it. Let the women handle it. I try. I'm alright. They can't die. I mean, man. Because otherwise people are trying to stand
Testing everyone. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Good, thank you. Okay, just wanted to know who's leading this candle vigil.
Come on, Monique.
We're getting started and we're going to get started shortly. I just want to thank everyone. Wow, look at this. Everyone just pitching in, helping. People brought candles, helping set up the vigil. We really appreciate that because this is what community looks like.
That's right.
Standing together. So everyone with the camera in place, you ready to roll?
Yeah, they win.
You ready?
They're asking if everyone can move in over some into the parking lot.
There are some signs up here. Some of you have posters. We have some made. We can actually have some more made. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So first of all, I want to open up by thanking everyone for just coming out and standing up against police tyranny and calling out the injustice which took place here by the St. Paul Police Department. I'm Monique Colors Doty. I am the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Minnesota and Black Lives Matter Twin Cities Metro. Love you all. I'm also the aunt of Marcus Golden, who was killed by St. Paul Police. So I speak from experience, and we all stand in solidarity with this family. It's horrific what has happened once again in the city of St. Paul. And we are here, we're going to continue to organize and fight because we do demand justice. And so we are offering, extending all of our resources, Communities United Against Police Brutality, Families Supporting Family Against Police Violence, Black Lives Matter St. Paul, Black Lives Matter Twin Cities Metro, Racial Justice Network, Justice for Jamara, Care Minnesota, all of those of us who really do the work, who get out and organize. We're here not just in solidarity, but as your family. We're here to show you love, and we are here with you in this battle. We are so proud of what happened earlier today with that protest and showing up at the police department. So give yourselves a hand if you were there. To Trayvon and to Shira, who helped organize that with the Hmong community. This is just heartbreaking, and it's happened too many times. So we're going to make sure that we continue to fight. I want to thank the independent media and our commercial media for giving attention and shining a light on what happened. We saw what happened, and we saw that it was wrong, that it was unjustified, that it was uncalled for. And it is the continued aggression of the St. Paul Police Department that continues to have people of color killed needlessly. They shoot first and ask questions later.
That's all they know how to do is kill people.
Listen!
That's right. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Michelle Gross, the founder of, oh my God, I'm forgetting everything. I'm so sorry. Communities United Against Police Brutality. Let's give Michelle a hand.
So good. Y'all, thank you so much for being here, and I'm so proud to stand with you today. I'm so distressed about what happened in this building. There's no excuse or reason for what happened. It's outrageous because, you know, police, as Monique says, shoot first and ask questions later. And one of the things that they try to do is they try to control the narrative. And they do that by withholding all of the information to themselves so they can kind of spin a story. And then they know that the news cycle is short. So they will tell their story, and then they know that nobody will find out what really happened, because by the time that comes out, it's months and months ahead. So we actually did not want to let that happen. So we sued the St. Paul police to force them to release the name of the gentleman, Yia Xiong, and we also forced them to release the names of the cops. And then we sued them to force them to release the body camera footage, because we are entitled to all of that data under the Data Practices Act, but they violate the law in every one of these police killings because they want to set up a narrative to justify what they've done. And I've looked at that body camera footage. And
I want to see the body camera footage.
well, it's on the news, and that's the lucky part. So people can see it, because what they always try to do is keep this stuff secret. They have kept secret body camera footage for killings that happened a year or more ago. We still have not seen that footage. So this was really rapid for them to release this. And what it showed me is that what we know is this. If there's an edged weapon involved, a knife, the defense against an edged weapon is distance and barriers. The door was a barrier. Yes. They eliminated that defense. The distance was a barrier. They ran up on him, a man who had great loss of hearing and didn't speak their language. They ran up on him, closed the distance, and removed the barrier. They set themselves up to be in peril and then benefited from that by shooting him and killing him. This was unjustified, in my opinion. I do not believe this thing was justified, and I'm saying that as somebody who has looked at hundreds of videos of this kind of stuff. I'm totally appalled by it. I think it never needed to happen. It's disgusting that it did. And they thought they were just going to keep everything, you know, not tell his name, not tell the names of the cops involved. They were going to keep everything under wraps, and we were just going to go along with it and be okay with it, and we're not okay with it. Are we?
No, we're not.
We are not okay with this. And we are demanding justice. And that, what does that justice look like to y'all? Fire the cops and prosecute the cops, right? We cannot bring this man back, but we must ensure that those cops that engage in this dangerous conduct of putting themselves in peril and then using that as the justification for murdering this man, that they do not get to go free. We cannot let that happen. You know, having 1 or 2 or 4 cops even in this state get prosecuted for murdering people, nowhere near enough. We have to have the cops that engage in this conduct get prosecuted, have a consequence for their conduct, and until they do, we will continue to see more of these kinds of incidents. So it's very important that we press for the prosecution of these officers. These guys are just on a paid vacation right now. Is that acceptable? No. These guys should be sitting in a jail cell. Yeah. They don't need to be on a paid vacation, paid by the taxpayers. They need to be in a jail cell waiting to be prosecuted for what they did. You know, one of the things I want you to think about, one of the cops, he had a taser. So, you know, we know tasers can be deadly, but he had a taser, but they're not generally considered deadly weapons. Guns are. If one cop thought a taser was okay, why did the other cop think a gun was necessary? Think about that for a second, too. So a lot of this case stinks. A lot of this case looks very unjustified. From anybody that looks at this objectively, it looks very unjustified. It's a good thing that that body camera footage came out. It wouldn't have, but for a lawsuit. And I'm so glad we did that lawsuit to force them to release what is public data to us so they can only spin their narrative for a short period of time, and now we know the real truth, and I think that's damned important. Do you all agree? Yes. Yeah. So that's why we're out here, you know, because anytime a community member loses their lives to the police, it's utterly tragic. But in a situation like this with a 65-year-old man who couldn't hear and didn't speak the language, and they go in and create a sense of peril, create the danger, and then use that danger that they created to justify, that's so wrong. And that's what happened in this case, and that's why we're demanding justice, and that's why we're demanding arrest these two damn cops. That video is probable cause to arrest them right now. It was probable cause to arrest them last Saturday, and it's definitely probable cause to arrest them right now. Put their asses in the jail and keep them there until they have a trial. Yeah. Justice for Yia Xiong! Justice for Yia Xiong! Say his name! 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 Yia Xiong! Hmong lives matter! Hmong lives matter! Hmong lives matter! And we didn't just start saying this today. We've been saying this. I know I've been out here for 8 years. We've been saying.
Fong Lee's case, okay?
Yeah, she worked on Fong Lee's case. We've been saying this for a long time in solidarity. So we have always acknowledged other people of color and white people. Anyone who's killed wrongfully by the police, we are there to support in solidarity. One love. Next we'll have Tashir Cherwayia Allen, family supporting family against police brutality. Oh, you got your own mic.
No, someone gave it to me. Woo! Well, as I said before at the last rally that we was at, is that an injustice done to one of us is an injustice done to all of us. And we have to, okay, an injustice done to one of us is an injustice done to all of us.
Could have been any one of us.
It could have been any one of us. And we have to believe in our hearts that an injustice done to one of us is an injustice done to all of us. That is the start. And once we believe that in our hearts, then we have to move as if an injustice done to one of us as human beings is an injustice done to all of us.
What about George Floyd?
George Floyd, everybody, every human being that has lost their life unjustly at the hands of this corrupted system. We have white men that go and shoot up churches and all kinds of things, and they walk out alive. But we consistently have poor white people. We consistently have black people, Hmong people, Hispanic people, that Native people that don't make it out of these situations alive. And that should tell us something. We have families here that have lost loved ones at the hands of the police that is here to support this family and here to support the Hmong community. For us, it doesn't matter what his nationality was. It doesn't matter what he looked like. It matters that he was a human being and he didn't deserve to die like that. It matters that he was a human being that deserved a chance. They could have resolved that situation if they would have just let him close the door. He would have put the knife down. But they didn't give him a chance to do anything. They kicked the door, like Michelle said, and eliminated that barrier. And they created that situation and then murdered him, and now they're trying to justify it. It was an unjustified murder. But what I want to say to all of the community, this has to be consistent. We have to build a momentum. We have to build a partnership and standing up for what we know in our hearts is right. So if they kill a black person, the Hmong community, the black community, the Native community, the Hispanic community is going to show up. If they kill a Hmong person, the black community, the Hmong community, the Native community, and all the communities are going to show up. When there is a human life that is stolen unjustly for any reason at all, we must all show up. We must show up in large numbers to let them know that we're not playing, that we're not going to stand for this, that we're not going to be quiet, and we don't care what they look like. We don't care about any of that. We care about human life, and if you take one of them, we're all going to show up. So I give my condolences to the family and the Hmong community. I stand with you. Our whole movement stand with you. We got your back, but we need you guys to have our back, and we're going to have each other back through this. We're going to create a momentum. We're going to continuously show up. Please look at Black Lives Matter Minnesota page, Black Lives Matter Twin Cities Metro, Communities United Against Police Brutality, Families Supporting Families Against Police Violence, TCC for J pages, because we're always creating events whenever this happens. Follow those pages so you can show up in solidarity, because we're going to show up in solidarity, because what happened to Mr. Yia was absolutely wrong. He was a senior citizen in our community. He didn't deserve that, and we got you guys' back. Let's have each other back. Say his name. Yes, 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 thank you, everyone. Thank you all for being here and standing in solidarity. We have other families that have stood in solidarity. We also have a support group that the family can join. So if anybody can help them learn about it, please do. Thank you.
We have Toussaint Morrison with On-Site Public Media. Doing great work. Toussaint, can you come up? I saw you in the crowd.
Listen!
Matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Thank you, Toussaint.
And wherever you ain't, check out the lyrics.
I'm Toussaint Morrison. I want you to remember this name. His name is David Emery Linthicum. He's a white man who had resisted arrest. He had shot 2 police officers, and he was apprehended alive.
Listen!
He wasn't tased, and he wasn't assaulted in any way. It's incumbent upon these police officers to take people in alive. Maybe in trouble, maybe in treatment, but definitely alive. And the way that Yia was treated was less than human.
Yes.
The way that Yia was treated was expendable.
It's a game.
And the way that Yia was treated was, it needs to be prosecuted. These cops need to be brought to justice. These cops need to be prosecuted. They need to be arrested. And the standard and the bar is so low to become a police officer that these 2 could show up and accost a man like Yia and not speak to him in a language that he understood or address him in a way as a human being. And too often we are treated as less than human beings. And for Yia Xiong to be treated the way he was treated is absolutely abominable. And they need to be prosecuted. Look no further than the people around you. I went to high school with somebody that became a St. Paul police officer. And with the work Michelle Gross does and with the work that Monique does, less than a month looking up officers who had shot and killed people, I found his name, an old high school classmate of mine, who had shot and killed a dog with Matt Severance on a no-knock warrant. All of these police officers have dirt on their hands. And everybody in this community deserves to have police officers or deserves to have deserves to be treated like a human being. We shouldn't be out here. This shouldn't continue to happen. When Dalal Eid was murdered by the police, we showed up even before we knew his name, ethnicity, or what had happened. This city is on notice. Whether it's Hmong, Vietnamese, black, white, Latino, it doesn't matter. We show up because we are holding these people accountable, and you deserve to have law enforcement that is held accountable at the bare minimum. That is a bare minimum. If anybody killed somebody on the job, they wouldn't have that job anymore. How many killer cops are on the payroll in St. Paul? How many killer cops are on the payroll in Minneapolis? The standard is so egregiously low that these people are showing up and treating people like Yia Xiong as expendable. Yia Xiong was a human. Yia Xiong was valuable. He was loved, and maybe in trouble or maybe in treatment. He should be alive. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. And I'll wrap up with this. I went to Wyndham Open Middle School, and we knew how it was because some of my Hmong and Vietnamese brothers would show up to school, and they treated all of us the same. We sat at the same lunch table, and we had white kids looking at us funny. So I show up with you as family because I've been in that struggle as well, being looked at funny, being treated less than human, wondering why we're in the principal's office for no damn reason, and treated as criminals before we even open our mouths. And I saw many of my classmates be treated as less than human because they didn't speak English. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of folks out there that speak 3 languages. And some of these cops can barely speak 1. So them pulling up and treating him as less than human is absolutely unacceptable. And we have to keep showing up and keep repeating Yia's name so people understand, remember, and understand that he was a human being that deserved to be treated like one. Thank you.
Linda with Twin Cities Community for Justice for Jamar. I had no sleep. Okay, Twin Cities Coalition Justice for Jamar. I'm a founding member. I should know the name. I had no sleep. Lyndon, you want to come on up? Thank you so much. And then if there are any, right. Oh, absolutely. So we're just knocking out some of the organizers that are here and organizations in solidarity, and then we'll have some community, and if there's some family members that are here, we want it to hear from you. We want to hear from the Hmong community, and we're just here to support you, so we're going to just turn the platform over, and let's hear from you. But now we hear, Linda, give her a hand. Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lyndon. I'm with the Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar Clark. Jamar Clark was murdered by Minneapolis police in 2015, and that was a spark that ignited the Twin Cities in protest that has never been seen in decades before then. So we want to carry on that proud legacy and protest the murder of Yia Xiong, the protest of Jamar, the protest of hundreds of others around this state who have been killed in the last 10, 20 years. You know, I often don't like to even watch those terrible videos of people being murdered, but it was just, when I think of what the Hmong community has been through before they came to Minnesota and after they came to Minnesota, and how they were betrayed by the government, even though they fought a war for the U.S., but were treated very poorly when they got here. Just to see that treatment of Yia Xiong on that film was just horrible and devastating. And those police officers should be fired. They should be prosecuted. They should be in jail right now. And my heart goes out to the community for all they have struggled for, all they have fought for. And Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar will be here for you now, and we will be here for everyone who's unjustly murdered by the police.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's absolutely right. Solidarity and love. Next, we're going to hear from Taryn Vang, who's a boyfriend was Travis Jordan, who was killed by Minneapolis police. And Taryn's been coming out just doing work and supporting the movement ever since. So, Taryn, thank you for coming out.
Hello, my name is Taryn Vang. My boyfriend Travis Jordan was murdered November 9, 2018 by the Minneapolis Police Department during a mental health crisis. It's nearly identical to what happened to Yia Xiong. He was in his house. There was a barrier between him and the cops, and they kept taunting him to come out, come out. He came out with a knife, wanting to only harm himself because it was he was having a mental health crisis. They could have left him alone. He was fine and safe in his house. Instead, they kept taunting him to come out, and when he did, they shot and killed him. This is really messed up, and I'm so glad that there is so much of the Hmong community being here for Yia Xiong. I just really hope that you will all be here for all stolen lives that are taken from us, and not just for Hmong people. We want it all to be also in solidarity with like Hmong and Black lives and everyone else, to just be there for each other, because this happens to everyone, you know. So, you know, I just want the family to know that, you know, I am here for you. I am here to support you in any way I can. Just let me know. I was going through the CUAPB website today of the Stolen Lives list, and you know, there's so many Hmong people on that list, and I just want us to take this time to really just honor the stolen lives. So I wrote down a few names that I could find. So can we say justice for ntawm? Justice for Shuaveng. Justice for Yiveng. Justice for Chujong. Justice for Pumi Lee. Justice for Ki Yang. Justice for Map Kong. Justice for Cheshire Fong Vu. Justice for Jason Yang. Justice for Fong Lee. Justice for Basi Lor. Justice for Tia Yang. You know, I just hope that everyone realizes that it's not just Black lives that are being killed, Asian lives are being killed. Like, we all just need to stand in solidarity with each other. And, you know, I hope that this all, you know, just puts us in the right path to like being there for each other, because in numbers, you know, there's just so much support, and we can really get things done. So thank you.
All lives matter.
Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. Hmong lives matter. This is Snowden. He's a representative from the Hmong community. He's going to be speaking, and then here let's move over. Is the rest of the family wanting to come up? We have the family here. Yes.
Can you say your
last
name, Snowden?
H-E-R-R.
No.
I'm going to speak Hmong first. Orana ya kake tishia tushia. Mono pechero to de kacholina tia. The tia ma no je ya tomo te tamang na pinya to peva peche to shima. Pe to na ma vi te pe mo tang mang vi ha tia. Ja cho na thi no to pe tu cứ ti Yia Xiong na to ta shin nang to de kacholna lu apa me no. Giờ lấy phải to theo là to là nó sẽ là to gia đình cho cái lú cái dọc cái chùa theo cho cái chính danh chẳng của cho tạm luôn là tàu của rồi phải trồng mông giờ lấy phải to là chiều là của rồi Yia sư là của trồng mông thì giờ lấy đó phải thọ cho cái tin năng cha và đu lấy sẽ là lúc cho công hồ cho lúc đó tàu to ba ông cái này tên nó thiết trụ tàu pe pe hàng sĩ trụ tàu là nó ít trong ít tu li nó sư nhưng mò tàn đó sẽ được lúc sẽ luôn chữ giờ linh đó thì mò bé xía thì lỡ là thêm mò lỡ xe thì bây theo lý tôi trong đó nó giờ tôi xác định cho cái lũ tôi thiệt rồi sẽ được hay thì bây chẳng nhầm mong bây lùm mong để cho nên nhớ rồi được cô nó cô sao thọ thiệt rồi thì nó hay giờ lùm từ thì
cô Yia Xiong cũng sai lo cô Mai Tong Xiong nữa mà.
This is my Tong Xiong, the older daughter of Yia Xiong.
Cô này Yia Xiong là cô luôn bây giờ Xi Xiong là.
This is Yia Xiong, Mrs. Yia Xiong, who is now the widow.
Cô lúc bây giờ bao số Xiong, đó là cô tôi mình sinh viên tôi cô Yia Xiong tôi younger sister ya tôi mua yêu kia.
This is Yia Xiong. This is Yia Xiong younger sister, who coming from Michigan.
Cô Yia tôi mua lo tôi.
This is the Yia Xiong's older sister, who coming from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Lisa Xiong, cô tôi thấy tất cả cô Yia Xiong.
Nè, Lisa Xiong, Yia Xiong, tôi sai con giờ.
Lúc bây giờ mình lên nó cô Yia tôi mua đã.
Yamili, who is the middle sister of Yia Xiong. Tiếc quá đó, con nó lớn nhỉ lớn gì, lớn Yia Xiong giao lớn tụ nổ lần gì, thia tụ gì, cô tao ta chỉ năng, thì tiêm mà cô chỉ tao ta chỉ năng ta chỉ mà tạm lo chỉ lấy tua, chỉ sai rong chỉ xua rong, chỉ lấy tua số bỏ tua, bé tụ cứ ti Yia Xiong nó tụ đấy, giờ lên nữa thì lấy tao ta chỉ năng là một đi nào là giờ lấy bé cô chỉ sao cả bé lử lăng lử tụ họ trâu tua lên nó thia bé thì lấy tua đâu nó tao kia cho lúc tê lúc chờ tia tê nó tê chữ tê cho nó thì nào thia bé giờ tin năng thia bé giờ yếm phong bé giờ trò nhẹ bé giờ nhau tê lúc này apartment lên nó bé giờ mua bỏ đi trả xong rồi lo bé giờ tin năng bé cho xe nhưng mua gì thia bé uốn năng nó chúng nó tuổi giàu sư giờ lên đó ta chỉ mà bé chỉ sao cả là tua lên nó nè để lấy chỉ một bé tua lên tua để lên nó giờ lên đó thọ kia đó sẽ đợi qua sẽ đợi châu đóจะไปสังหัวหือป้อนสินั่งนั่งล้อไม่ยอsẽ đợiต้นđóไปตีนnó giờตีนđó ít khó rong hết giờ bé tụ cứ đi Yia Xiong nó tao trâu tao mua tua bé sao cả cho kiện chân chân mua rồi bé sẽ đợi giờ cả tụ sát sinh là tê cho nó thì nó là tao truyền là tê tao luôn nó còn này chụp bao ta mình chỉ sai giờ thì là tua cho ý hù tao cho tao là chê lần ba tê chân này phỏ cho ở trong tuần sư cho tôi bé tuần nưng đi nó nằm mò giờ lên là bé thì tôi từ tạm bộ đi nó ở trong đầu tôi bé cho nó cho ở sẽ đời thì cho no elected official Lin Nelsie thì mình trong là một đồ ở bên lưng Susan Pa tên nó để đầu tiên cho tôi bé pa từ Lin nó của tôi nên bé chỉ số là nên sao tu sửa bé sẽ để dây tu bé tu rồi ít học course Hàn Quốc course là giờ bé tu nên là một tu chỉ nhau tu gia đình đã mình thấy là tôi cho bé chơi mua tê toàn ruộng đâu nào là bé tu được thì bé mua bé sẽ được sửa sẽ cho con cho cụ cho lương tư là nhưng giờ bé sẽ được thế giờ là bây giờ cứ tin năng chăm giờ đây là rồi nó mà chia rồi thì ý theo tự bé chơi rồi là thế chỉ cho bé chơi rồi gì thế nó nằm mò ấy giờ linh ta bé tôi linh nào mà bé chơi tôi mà nó sư bé chơi tôi linh ta rồi gì mà bé sao còn đây sẽ được các tôi cùng đó bé thế nó nè chỉ sao bé xem chơi sư chỉ xem trong nè bé giờ rong hạt tiền bé vô linh nhang mong ngỏ giờ linh ta sẽ được tôn chia cho kinh doanh rằng sư bé thì chỉ còn tôi qua bé chỉ tôn ra bé cùng chia cho kinh doanh rằng tài cho kinh doanh rằng sư giờ linh ta thọ kia nó đâu bé sẽ đợi hàng đó bé lưu tia ta chỉ nằm một coi dùng thảm mình chỉ lo kết I would like my name is Snowden and I would like to thank you all the communities members and all the agencies or organizations that organize, make tonight possible for all of us, because the lost life of by the police, and not only one person but many people, but for tonight specifically for Yia Xiong, who got killed unjustly, and he was just he did not speak English. He has hard of hearing, and he did not understand what the police comment on him, and there was no his language spoken at the time, and he did not know what to do, so he got killed very instantly, and we are here to remember. And so, especially on behalf of all the communities of the Hmong community, we would like to appreciate. Thank you for all your help and your efforts making this possible. And this is not the end. We are going to rally more into the future, and we need all of you to come back and bring your friends and your relatives back to help us and help our organizations fight for justice for all. All right? And so, justice, what do we want? Justice! When? Now! For whom? Yes. Okay, now, I would like to change a little bit because the fact that he did not speak English, okay? No English. No English. When I say no English, you say no shooting, okay? No English. No English. No English. Don't shoot. All right, let's change to no justice. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. All right, thank you very much. And God bless you. All right? And we appreciate all your efforts. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to thank each and every one of you guys from the bottom of my heart for all the things that you guys do, all the community, each and every one of them, each and every one of you guys. My family cannot thank you guys enough. So I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate everything.
We got your back.
We got your back.
We got your back.
We got your back. We got your back.
We got your back. We got your back.
你本不如得去汉字了。
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out. I know this is a horrific time. It's a nightmare on St. Paul streets. And so thank you, and we will continue. We have connected with some family members. We'll continue to show support. And actually, I saved a couple more of those for you, so they're in my car. So for the family, I thought you might be coming out. So, thank you so much. This is very difficult, right? To stand next to this truck. So hello, and so much pain. So can we just give them a hand for coming out and for standing up, not taking this lying down. That's where the fight really begins. So I hope that we can give them energy and can carry them all the way through to the end, getting these officers prosecuted. So we just have all the love in the world for you, and we grieve with you, and we'll continue to stand with you. We do have another organizer that's here that we'd like to hear from. Is Tom Mosley, Take a Knee Nation. He's traveled across the country taking a knee for stolen lives, and he has tattoos of I don't know how many people who have been killed by the police. He tattoos their name. That's how much he's serious about it. So let's give Tom Mosley a hand.
Yeah, so this this murder, it's another glaring example that this could happen to any one of us. I've been involved with this for a long time, since like 2018. I've closely examined hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases of police killings, all different races. Like Monique was saying, I have 9 names of stolen lives tattooed on my body so far. I'm starting to fill up. I'm going to run out of space. My tattoo artist was even saying, the police got to stop killing people. You're going to run out of space, man. And man, it's just it's been great to work with Monique all these years. It's she really means it when she says we show up for everybody. And this is obviously a club nobody wants to be a part of, but we're serious when we say we're here for you guys, and we don't just got your back, we are your back. And man, just prosecuting these cops is just, that's just got to be the start, because we see time and time again these cops get these bullshit 2-3 year sentences, and that's nothing. Or nothing at all. There's been countless acquittals, drop charges, mistrials. Just since the year 2000, according to the database that we have, there have been over 30,000 people killed by the police in this country since 2000. That's around 4 people every single day. There have been, maybe a little over 100 cops charged, 30 or 40 convicted. That's a fraction of a percent of a conviction rate for murders. But then civilians do, they don't even have to kill somebody to be killed by the police, get a life sentence, all this other shit. It's just, anyways, like I said to Yia's family, we don't just got your back, we are your back, we're here forever. And every time you hear me say ACAB, I'm saying all cops are bitches. That means every single one. And just I don't know if Channel 11, Alpha News, Fox 9 are still here, but this shit can't be reformed. Abolition's the only answer. You can go back to your editors and tell them Tom Mosley said that.
Thank you, Tom. I also see the family, the parents of Tekle Sunberg. I did see them. Are you still? Oh, you're directly back. Would you like to say something? You're good. You're good. Last time she spoke at the Capitol, she was just on fire. So, thank you all. We're just gonna, okay. Thank you for coming up. Tekle Sunberg, so near and dear to my heart. Killed by Minneapolis police. So, this is his mother.
I first want to say to the family, I am so sorry. I know the journey you're about to embark on, and the lies and the things that the police will say about you and about him. And please know there are people out there who don't believe that and know what a good human he was, that sees his humanity and knows that this was not okay. Over and over and over again, white people get to have mental health crises, they get to shoot cops, they get to do really horrendous things, and they get arrested alive. It has to stop. The system is beyond broken. The racism is so embedded. White Minnesota, step up, say no, do your job, come out, hey, stand with your brothers and sisters. We are all human, and we all deserve the same treatments by the system. My son didn't get it. People who've done worse things than him came out alive. And again, I'm so sorry to the family.
Thank you so much. Give her a hand. It's so, it can be difficult to get her and talk about it. And her son was black. So, I want to point out that St. Paul has a new police chief. So this is really telling of what we're going to see in the future if he does not have these officers fired and prosecuted. And the problem is that we have a St. Paul police chief who came from the St. Paul police. Of all the candidates, the people from out of town, other states, someone was chosen who knows all the secrets, who the other officers have secrets on him. And so we know that we're not going to have a real significant change. But the fact that we did see one camera released, okay, that's something, but we need more. So we need to demand more of our new chief. Something we should talk about doing is organizing a call-in and just calling and tying up the phones all day, demanding justice, demanding these officers are prosecuted, because we have to put pressure on him. And if he's not going to do the right thing, then he needs to move on to another place. And the mayor needs to find a new chief of police for St. Paul. We cannot allow him to remain in position. So we need to go after his job as well, if he's going to keep killer cops. And that also includes the killer cops that are still unemployed, who killed multiple people. You have officers who've been involved in 2 and 3 killings within the St. Paul Police Department. So it is truly a horrific situation. So I have an ask for the community. If we can keep this visual up and going and growing, I think that would be so beneficial for the families to know. So if you come by and bring some balloons, bring some candles, bring some flowers, you know, and I'll do my part too and keep bringing stuff. We want to make sure we keep it going. We want to keep it going until he gets justice, right? So we're going to try and keep those candles burning. We'll bring some battery lit candles and see how we can keep it going. I mean, we have a snowstorm coming, so I anticipate it's kind of going to get destroyed. So when that passes, we got to come out and rebuild it. But let's keep it going, and let's show that as a symbol of love to the family who's still here, to show that, hey, we still care. Let's keep coming out. Let's keep it growing. And we can move to different trees, have multiple trees. So I think that's almost the least that we can do to show tangibly, in a tangible way, that we still care and that we love one another here. So we have some, it's time we want to make sure that we're allowing the Hmong community to really speak. Would you like to speak?
James Lowe. I am a community member. I live here in St. Paul for 30 years. And here's what I want to say. I don't know about you all right now, but my feet are cold, my hands are cold, we are cold. But I want to say this, we are not as cold as SPPD, right? What they did was cold. So what I'm trying to say here is this is unjust, this is not fair. Mr. Yia Xiong should be here with us today. We should be celebrating his birthday, his anniversary, the good things that he has done. He's a war veteran. He has served this country. He put his blood on the line to make sure that we have freedom. And today, St. Paul Police, this is what he did to an elderly who is hard of hearing, who doesn't know English. This is unacceptable. St. Paul Police has to do better.
Yes.
And we demand better. We demand justice.
Absolutely. That's right.
And I am just so hurt when I was talking to Mrs. Yia and the family. Our condolences are with the family. But here's the thing. But all of you guys showing up today, what I see is people, residents of all races here. Hmong, white, black, Latino, all of us are here. And I want to say thank you on behalf of our Hmong community. This means a lot that you have our back, that one life is too many taken away by the police department. One life is too many. Ready? One life. You say too many. One life. Too many. One life. Too many. And here's the thing. We demand justice, okay? So let's continue the momentum. Let's continue the movement here. Let's continue to fight. I'm going to close it off with Snowdon said, no English, don't shoot. All right, ready? No English. Don't shoot. No English. Don't shoot. One more here with no justice, no peace. Last one. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give him a hand. Thank you so much. He also helped set up. He was here early, so thank you again, everyone who helped us set up. Let's do another chant. How about we started with the no justice? How about no justice, no peace, prosecute the police, right? Because that's what we want. Right. No justice,
no peace. Prosecute the police.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Thank you. So I used to be a choir director, so everyone's not all together. I'm like, okay, no justice, no peace, prosecute, foul like I'm directing. Thank you. We got to raise our voices. We want him to hear from the heavens that we're out here calling out his name. Would you like to say something? You've been up here.
Yes. Hi everyone. This is Cool Yang. I'm a concerned citizen, and I see the video, and this is no car duty. Okay, this is a person life. When someone shoot in a car duty, you get one life, you get another life, you put another quarter in there, you can play another game. I want to make sure the St. Paul police know that this is not car duty. It's not a game.
Right.
This is not a game.
Right.
When they murder Yia, he's not coming back. There's no restart. I want to make sure that all the kids out there know that murder is wrong, killing is wrong. Yep. So we are here seeking justice for Yia, and we will not stop until justice be served. So let's chance, because right now Yia he cannot speak for himself. So we have to speak for Yia. Okay? Say his name.
Yia!
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 Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give him a hand. The song's going to lead us in some chants.
Hmong lives, they matter here. Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
Hmong lives, they matter here.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Do you want it next week?
No.
You want it next year?
No.
You want it tomorrow?
No.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
For who?
Yia Xiong.
Say his name.
Yia Xiong.
Say it louder.
Yia Xiong.
Say it prouder.
Yia Xiong.
What's his name?
Yia Xiong.
Say his name.
Yia Xiong.
Say his name.
Yia Xiong.
Say his name.
Yia Xiong.
If Yia don't get it,
shut it down.
If Yia don't get it,
shut it down.
Yia don't get it.
Shut it down.
I said if Yia don't get it,
shut it down.
I said if Yia don't get it,
shut it down.
I said if Yia don't get it,
shut it down.
No justice,
no peace.
Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
I'm gonna turn this back over to Monique, but those are a few chants that we learned throughout the past. I learned throughout the past 2 years, and it is an absolute terror and a depressing loss whenever we have to show up and repeat those things. And as I said in the beginning of my last speech, I see y'all as family, because growing up in Minneapolis public schools, I sat at the same table as many people with the last name of Vang, Zhang, Lee, many of the last names, and we were all treated the same in the eyes of the school, the hallway deans, the principals, and the teachers. And so I see y'all as family, and what we call this is solidarity. And this is showing up for community regardless of if somebody had a knife, regardless if somebody was a quote-unquote threat. Because you know, if Yia Xiong was sitting in Linden Hills and he had white skin, he would have been treated very differently. he would have been treated very differently. If he was in an apartment in Edina, he would have been treated very differently. And you need to look around at the people around you right now. Look at the mayor that isn't here. Think about the city council people that aren't here.
Where are they?
Think about the DA that isn't here.
Where is he?
If this doesn't benefit them, they don't show up. But we show up to show compassion for the family, to show compassion for the community. It may not benefit you directly, but you got to help somebody. You got to serve. You got to show up. So please take note of the city council people that are not here, of the mayor that is not here. Because when we had the press conference for Marcus Golden that was shot and murdered by St. Paul police in 2015, they tried to cover that up for over half a decade. And when we had the press conference for $1.3 million that was given to his family after a civil lawsuit, where was the mayor? Where were the city council people? Nowhere to be found. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is looking. It's doing the right thing when the body cam is on or off. And the standard for these officers is so low that anybody can show up with a badge and a gun and start harassing elderly people. And to know that he was hard of hearing makes it even worse. It's awful. And they don't show up with any compassion or any attempt to treat a human being like a human being. And this happens all the time. So Troy needs to levy some charges against these officers, let alone fire them. And if he doesn't do it, then Keith needs to show up and levy some charges against these officers. It is incumbent upon us to show up and ring the phone of Troy and let him know he needs to hold these officers accountable. They should not be getting paid by your tax dollars anymore. Why are we paying for low-level, substandard killer cops? They should not be around anymore. They should not be on the job. One of these reporters here, y'all have a boss to answer to. If you killed somebody, you would not have a job anymore. So why is it okay for a cop to do it? Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. All right.
Thank you, Tucson. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
All right, Ms. Monique. We have two more speakers here. I'm going to introduce here two elected officials. Again, if you're an elected official, please come onto the podium as well. We want to recognize you as well because you are in a position of leadership, in a position to serve the public. And it takes a lot of courage for you to be here. But today we have two champions. So two elected officials who are here with us, who have the courage, the heart, the gut to be with us every step of the way. And there are two other organizers on behalf of the home community as well. So I'd like to introduce Minnesota Senator Susan Pa, and also City Council Nelson Yang will be speaking next, okay? So give it up to Senator Susan Pa, please.
This is a very sad day, but I feel so grateful that we are in community together, all of us here, seeking justice for Yia Xiong. If we want change, it starts with us, and we must unite for that change. There has to be change in the system, there has to be change in policy, there has to be change with the way that we police our community. We cannot afford for people like Yia Xiong to die at the hands of our police officers because they were not there to serve and protect. They were there to kill him. That is not okay. When we call the police for help, we're expecting that they come out and they help the people that are involved in those situations. Not that they are now the people that are in harm's way of the police. I stand in solidarity with everyone here. I'm proud of our community. I'm proud that we can come together and seek that justice. I was talking to Miss Yia Xiong earlier, and she was sharing her story about now that she has to go back home alone without her husband. This is a man who has a wife, who has children, who has people who love him. He's part of this community. His life mattered. His life is not any less than any one of us or the police officers. And we have to get them to understand that when they do their job, They should be serving and protecting the people. I thank everyone for coming, and I'm proud to be a part of this community in which stands up for justice for people. Thank you.
nhớ cho trong này sựตัวกูya nó sẽยากกูtừ council member nhớ rồi sai sai xin phò nàyกูsẽ hay ở choแต่นี่เขาเฉยจริงๆนี่รู้สึกเหรอตัวจะไปtự trả tự số thì cái này đâu Yia Xiong. So I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. I'm the council member in the east side of St. Paul. I'm Nelsie Yang, and because of the power of our community, I won my election. I'm the first Hmong American woman and also the youngest person to be elected into the St. Paul City Council. And I got involved in this work because I saw all the struggles, the pain that my own family went through because we grew up poor. And I saw how we were mistreated by law enforcement. And it clicked to me. I just remember the day when I realized this actually wasn't something that my family experienced in isolation, but that so many other families across race, across ethnicity, class, they experience this too. It really hurts to be here because I have been to so many of these candlelight vigils. I've been to so many protests out in the streets. Many of you here were part of the protests where we fought for justice for Jamar Clark and we blocked Interstate 94. And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being here. It is not hard to ask people to be basic human beings and to treat others with dignity and respect. And it is clear that the officers, all the officers who are on the scene, none of them made the choice to have any sort of basic human dignity for Yia Xiong.
That's right.
And I feel that there's so much I want to say, but I feel like one thing that we are not talking enough about is how there were police officers of color on the scene. We have Hmong-speaking police officers on the scene. We are the people who fought to make that change happen. For us to have representation in a police department, because we know how painful it is when we go out there and only see white officers. So that's why we fought to make sure that we did have multilingual people in the force, that we did have people of color. And they did not make the choice to live up to the standard that they said they would do when they took that oath and became police officers. They did not choose to live up to the standard that we as people of color, we as working class people who have been hurt over and over again by the system, that we wanted them to live up to. And I know that we put a lot of expectation for our communities of color, but that's because we know they understand. They should be the ones to understand our hurt and pain the most. Are you with me on that? Yes. They are the ones who should understand our pain the most, and they did not make that choice. And they cannot walk away free. So I want to make sure all of you are clear about this. Because we did have our own brothers. We did have our own people from our communities of color there and on that scene. And this could have turned out differently, and it should have. And it did not. And that's why we are here fighting for justice, because we deserve better than this. And we will not stop doing this until no one loses their life. No one should be dying at all in our streets, in our buildings, anywhere. And especially not by the people who are supposed to be here to serve and protect us. And so thank you all for challenging the authority. Thank you for using your voice to make change. Because we have always been taught that our voice doesn't matter. I know that those of you who are Hmong, you know what I mean when I say that. And you are so courageous. All of you are so courageous. And I want to ask you to spread that fire in your belly. Spread it like wildfire. And change is possible, and it starts with you. So thank you for being here and taking a stand.
Thank you.
And I want to introduce, I also want to take a second and say thank you to so many candidates who are here with us today. You are running for office because you believe in change. and you are courageous and running to make that vision a reality. And so I want to ask you to raise your hand if you are a candidate running for office. Any candidates here? Yes, I know. So if you all have anything you want to share, go to them, because they are the people who need to be hearing from you about the type of change that you want to see happen in your community. And these are St. Paul candidates who are running for office. So I want to introduce my really good friend and fellow colleague in the St. Paul City Council. This is Mitra Jalali, council member in St. Paul Ward 4. Hey everybody. My name is Mitra Jalali. I did not come here planning to speak today. I came here planning to listen. And then I was asked to come and share some words, and I am more than willing to do that, because if you hold an elected city office in this city with any kind of responsibility over the police department, you should be here, you should be in this space. So I want to thank you all for holding us accountable as our community. I just want to start by saying to the family that there's no words I could say that could take or ease your pain. And I break and I weep for your loss, and we are here with you. Please receive that. We will be here for you. I am so sorry. What I want to say to add to what I've heard is that I just keep thinking how there are millions of Americans who go through their life and they never have an interaction with police. They don't ever have an interaction with police. And if they do have one, they emerge alive and their problem was solved. So something is not working. And we can talk about, sure, more culturally competent officers, sure. More officers of color, okay. But people of color officers are killing people of color in our cities, okay? Officers who share background with victims are still part of a fatal encounter. So we need to think so much bigger. It's so much bigger than that. We need to fund people's lives in every way so that they are safe, cared for, that there are multiple people around them to help them when they're having some kind of situation, and that the officer coming is maybe never called upon or is the absolute last resort, and that encounter ends safely, okay? That's the vision I have for our community. We fell so short of that a week ago. And I don't want to be out here with you all because of what's happened, but I also will be. And I just want you to hear personally, I am taking up my responsibility, because if you run for office, you run to have the power, and that comes with responsibility to do something. So that is my commitment, and I'm here with you in grief. And the last thing I want to say, in Minnesota, we've been to a lot of events like this. I can feel how tired people are here. And you know right away, as there should be a consequence. There should be news crews, there should be outcry, there should be protesting. But I've also walked with families long after the news leaves, after the crowds disperse, and they are in their loneliness and grief. And my ask is that we don't let this be a flash in the pan to the people who no longer have their loved ones with them, that we hold this family for the long haul, like all the families here for the long haul, that we create that community of care, okay? Can we do that? So thank you. That's my last ask. Thank you for the chance to share my thoughts with you. And solidarity and love. Thank you.
Turn it back over to Michelle Brooks.
I just want to add that Communities United Against Police Brutality is known for our reinvestigations of police deaths, that are caused by the police, and we have investigated many numbers of these deaths, and we will be investigating this case. And the reason we do it is because we want the truth to come out. And what we know is what has been in the media is not the truth. We know that this is a setup to try to justify what the police have done. And so we will be investigating. So if anyone has any information, please bring it forward to myself. Emma, where are you? Nicole, where are you? Put your hands up so people can see you. Please bring your information forward so that we can begin to develop our reinvestigation, because the people themselves have to investigate these cases. What we know is that the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension comes in and they investigate these cases, but they investigate them with the idea of clearing the cops. That's their goal. In fact, a lot of us call them the Bureau of Cop Apologists for very, very good reasons. And so we ourselves need to do our own investigating. We ourselves need to do our own work to expose what truly happened in this case. I think the body camera footage is quite damning. I think you agree. But we really need to gather the information that we ourselves as a community need to put out. And I know we're planning to put together videos in this case to show what really happened. Just like we sued to get Yia Xiong's name out, just like we sued to force them to release the names of the cops, we are now going to go into the mode of reinvestigating this case. Those reinvestigations matter, and they matter a lot because they're the things that allow people to get lawsuits. And you can see some of the families here who were able to have lawsuits, including Monique, including Taryn Bang, and Travis Jordan's family, and other families that were able to get some measure of justice because of these investigations. So please, if you have information, please come forward. Please bring that information out. It doesn't help the community when you keep those things to yourself. It's so much more important for us to work collectively and to get this work done. So thank you all so much for being here. It's cold out. It's cold out here, so we're going to close out soon with one last speaker. Thank you all again for standing with this family. We have their backs, and we are their backs. Thank you for being here.
Also, we have pass out some candles. It's kind of cold, so we're going to, yeah, it's going to be hard to try and light them. It's kind of cold. So you want to bring them back up here, take them home, whatever, light them, stick them on there, whatever is fine with me. So just the last little detail.
All right. I just want to say thank you again to everybody for being here. I just want to close it off on behalf of the family, the Hmong community, that you guys have been amazing. You know, if you know, Hmong community is all about family. By you guys being here, we are all one big collective family here. And that means a lot. So today we see a lot of love, and we are grateful for that. Before we go, I just want to say a few words in Hmong. And then we're going to close our eyes in a bit here to show respect to Mr. Yia Xiong. And then we will move forward with, if you have any candle, we can do that. If not, then we'll close it off. Này thì bây giờ chuyện này, bây giờ còn nó tính chỉ tao đi lúc cũng mua là bên tròn này ok nữa, bây lu này bên tròn này bây thu, còn nó mất sầu lên nó, nếu mà lo bây giờ tròn này, đi đã chỉ là hai đứa bây giờ nữa mà, bây giờ lu này giờ chơi này lu cho, lúc sau nó cũng gặp bây giờ ít nhiều cái không mà bây giờ cho, Yia Xiong ya. At this time, let's go ahead and close our eyes for about 5 to 10 seconds. Think of Mr. Yia Xiong, and think of all the ones that have lost their life in the hands of a police officer. So let's do a moment of silence for about 10 seconds or so. Thank you. Wacho, thank you. One more. Say his name. Yia Xiong. Say his name. Yia Xiong. One more time, all the way to heaven. Say his name. Yia Xiong. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Nick.
Okay, so the families here, they have their candles lit, so we're going to be in solidarity. We're going to get ours lit too and stay with them. So I got some lighters to figure out how to get them done, and let's show them some support since they got their candles lit. And thank you.
là nhau là lâu nên chế non gì nữa mà cầm chui đi xe lông quê trên ngoài trời cho nên nó chỉ ta mới dép đi lâu đi coi là khó giờ nó chỉ là lâu cho cơ nó chỉ sợ cả con em có xin đó cái đó của tôi mình đúng cơ của tôi mình đâu xe đâu nó khả năng gì là mà cái chuyện trời cái chuyện đó đâu phải xin đó cái chuyện đó nó là con đi cùng cái tôi cho tụi mình đi chỉ có một mà còn tin không ngon mà còn đi sợ lòng khó nữa đây còn khi còn thưa nó tới bó hay gì nhở còn đây là chỉ dài có thể là trong đây tới mặn nó cái là có nó mà cái có nó cái là cho cái có sẽ một trái nhưng mà nó hay nữa
I'll talk to you later.
Đấy, cho nên chị là ta tỏ bê ta tỏ nó từ cái phần đó nè, ôi yêu cô cũng một cô hiểu thì sẽ sai cái đó, nó cứ làm chút cái cái nó đi là cái cũng nó sẽ rồi, cái sợi cái cũng sau này nó sẽ chuyển thành cái chỗ cái cũng như thế này, cho nên thì cái rally road, podcast road, tên là
if you had a permit gun, if you would chấp bỏ permit đó, why would you want to
cho cho nên nó về là còn thì cái này giờ số này giờ số nó này thì cái một chi tiết là sự thật đấy